Today, we are going to shed your shame. Learn how to transform the number one block to manifesting what you want and who you are. Let's dive in. I'm Lara Waldman, the Wealth Accelerator, author and podcast host of Money Manifestation Mastery. And it is my passion to help you transform your blocks to manifesting what you want and who you are. Learning how to alchemize shame is an essential practice to stepping into your next level. One of the most common blocks to manifesting what you want and who you are is unprocessed shame. Shame lives in the shadows of the self and creates blocks to manifestation mastery. I have spent a long time working with my clients' shame and my own shame, and have learned how to shed that shame, how to alchemize it, to unlock your power to manifest, unlock your innate ability to consciously create in alignment with your heart, body, and soul. So learning how to be with your shame and process your shame is an incredibly important practice and an incredibly powerful tool. What happens with shame is that it feels so bad. It's an emotion that most people don't want to feel. So there's all of this armor or defense systems built up around shame, so you don't have to feel it. And in protecting yourself from feeling this unpleasant feeling of shame, what happens is it creates all sorts of patterns, but it also blocks energy. So what happens with unprocessed shame is people tend to hide or mask. You want to hide or mask the part of you that you judge to be shameful, wrong, or bad. This creates patterns of avoidance, avoiding things that you need to be doing or conversations that you need to be having. So it makes people shut down, hide away, mask, and lock on a very essential part of yourself in the shadows of shame. Now, this unprocessed shame, a lot of people aren't even aware of. It's lying in the subconscious. But what happens with that shame is that it so desperately doesn't want to be found or met or seen that it creates all these buffers of protection. And what happens when it comes to manifesting or when it comes to receiving what you want, it actually pushes away what you want. It creates a rejection energy. So even if the very thing you want comes towards you, your energy, that unprocessed shame, will push it away. Say, get away from me. It's very spiky. It's very defended. And it's very scared of being found and being caught out. So this creates blocks to receiving what you want, to connecting with what you want. It can really create blocks when it comes to intimacy as well and connection in general. So if you want to be more connected, have more intimacy with what you want and who you are, which is part of manifestation mastery, coming into alignment with who you are and what you want, you're going to want to learn how to process your shame. And yes, it doesn't feel good, but if you can be brave and stay with the discomfort temporarily, it will unlock the next level of who you are and what you want. It will unlock your power to create. Because the good news is that underneath that shame is energy, is power, is a very beautiful part of yourself that's just ready and waiting to be connected with and discovered and brought into life. But you need to feel safe, and that's the key. So where does this shame come from? It's very, very interesting. So there can be shame from things that you've done or haven't done in the past, things that you have shame about. These are actions that you took or actions that you didn't take, things that you did or things that you didn't do. And at this point, there is shame around that. You can also carry shame from being shamed by others. So maybe at a young age, you were shamed for something that you did, maybe very innocently as a child. That's very normal for parents to shame their children to try and create different behavior. But unfortunately, that just locks children down and buries essential parts of ourselves deep within. There can be shame also from trauma. If you've experienced any kind of trauma, often we can internalize that trauma and then create a sense of shame or feel shame for that event that was actually done to you. There's also ancestral shame or societal shame, things that were done in the past that maybe you didn't do or you didn't have anything to do with, but it lives inside of your body, it lives inside of your DNA from the ancestral line or from history. We can carry this innate shame from things that were done in the past and hold that in our bodies. So learning to process the shame is incredibly powerful. It's not only healing for yourself, but I believe also sends ripples of change out into the world around us as well and can create a really powerful impact. But of course, with this work, we always start with you. We start within to create without. So the very first thing you want to do to shed your shame, to transform the shame, to have this energy working for you rather than against you, is to identify it, name it, name the shame. And this requires you to be brave and courageous, to acknowledge the shame, to be with the shame, and to feel the shame. So I always like to create a safe space or a sacred space to do this work. So first, you've got to name it, acknowledge it, be present with it, identify it. You can ask, where does this shame live inside of your body? Where are you carrying that shame? Where do you feel it in your body? And then we want to breathe with it, stay present with it. The most powerful way to transform any blocked emotion or blocked energy is to feel it, to stay present with it, to breathe with it. It's such a simple thing, and yet most people will avoid doing it because it doesn't feel good. But what I can reassure you about is if you can stay brave and stay present and feel the feelings you don't want to feel, it will unlock the blocks eventually. So first it feels bad, and as you keep breathing with it, staying present with it, creating space for it, it will start to shift, move, and change. You can meditate with this process, but you might also want to journal with it. You can talk to the shame, ask it questions. What do you feel shame about? Tell me more. So if you were talking to your shame as a person, what would it say to you? So this is a really great thing to journal with, to write with, talk to it, create space for it to speak, create space for it to breathe. It's like being the priest in confession time. We want to hold space to allow all of this shame out and keep breathing. Now, what's really important is that you also need to create a safe space for yourself, a space without judgment, a space where you can fully receive this shame and receive yourself within it. Hold space for it. So these are the first steps. It's very, very simple, but it needs space. It needs some time. It needs you to be present, free from judgment, and to feel it, to breathe with it, and to give that shame a chance to speak and talk. This starts to create movement. Unprocessed shame creates an energetic constipation. It creates energetic block, creates a stuck energy inside of your body, inside of your energy system. So as you start to feel and breathe and acknowledge, energy starts to move. So you may notice waves of feelings coming up. You may notice memories coming up. In an ideal world, I would want you to find a safe person that you can process this shame with. Being held and received by others is incredibly powerful and incredibly healing. But a first step may be to do this on your own And then when you're ready, you may find a safe person in which to share or process this shame with. As a healer, and also through my own personal experience, as well as supporting my clients, I have learned that learning how to be with shame is so, so important. Learning how to create a safe space for maybe negative things that you've done in your past or negative things that happened to you in your past is an incredibly powerful process. Because underneath that are parts of yourself that I call the unmet, unheld, unloved aspects. There's parts of yourself that you are in separation with or are disconnected from life that are hiding underneath the shame. So this is like buried treasure within. So the shame is like a mask or a buffer for parts of yourself that are living deeper underneath there. I usually feel this part of you living inside of the belly, inside of the sacral area, the pelvic area. And this is also your creative center. So the other side of this is so much creative energy and so much power, but we need to go mining for gold, move through that pain, that unprocessed energy, that unprocessed shame in order to find the gold. So we want to go next and meet those unheld, unloved aspects. So this next step is about taking you through the 5 H's to be heard, held, honored, so you can heal and come home. Heard, held, honored, so you can heal and come home. So we start with you hearing yourself, holding space for yourself. Remember, free of judgment and criticism, because that's not how we heal. Judgment and criticism just keeps you in more lockdown, tightening up the hatches and strengthening that shame. So we need to hear, hold, and honor yourself. Honor yourself, because this is going to be the process that's going to help you heal and come home into your next level. So as you go deeper and feel the feelings you don't want to feel, we want to go and find these parts, the unheard, unloved, unmet parts of you. What do these parts want? What do these parts need? Because generally what's happening is we're seeking, right? We're seeking outside of ourselves, seeking an unmet need or seeking an unmet desire externally. And human beings will often do a lot of shady things in order to have their needs met. And if we can bring in this deep sense of compassion and understanding, go deeper inside and step into self-leadership, understanding that that drive is actually coming from a hurt part, a part that's in separation with life, a part that's just desperate. It's actually desperate to come home into connection. It just doesn't know how to do it. So we want to go in and do that work of meeting that part of you. It's in the shadows. It's in separation. It's separated from yourself. It's separated from source, although you can't really be in separation from source. That's its experience of being in separation. And in that separation, it feels so much shame. It feels bad. It feels wrong. It feels unlovable. So there's all sorts of patterns that then show up to try and protect you from those parts of yourself. But in that protection, as I said earlier, you actually reject and push away and shut down from the very thing that you want. So in order to shift this, you need to feel safe. You need to be held. We need to go in and meet these parts. Hold space for these parts of yourself and stay curious. Curiosity is one of my favorite words. Stay curious about these parts. What do they want? What do they need? What do they desire? And as we go deeper into these parts, what happens is you start to unlock your next level. This is the buried treasure underneath the shame, your power, deeper connection with self, deeper connection with your life, deeper connection with your purpose. This is about unlocking your power to create. And all of this is the buried treasure underneath that shame. There's a next level version of you. Who are you becoming? There's a next level version of manifesting, creating what you want. allowing that love in, allowing that connection in, allowing that wealth in, whatever it is that you're really hungry for and really want. So we go in and find those parts so you can start to heal and come home to that next level version of you. This journey of shedding your shame and alchemizing your shame and going deep into the buried treasure is also a path of learning, of growth, of evolution. Learn from your mistakes, learn from your past, learn from your trauma, learn from your pain, and make a choice to grow and evolve beyond it. Grow and evolve beyond it. Another important key to this is forgiveness. Forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of others. Now, forgiveness is a process. You can't just fast track that. But I would like you to start, as you're shedding the shame, to start with self-forgiveness for anything that happened, anything that you've done or anything that was done to you. This is a really, really important thing because this is about, again, alchemizing, transforming, healing the past so that you can liberate yourself into your future and you can start moving forward and consciously creating in alignment with who you are and what you want. This unprocessed shame will keep you stuck in old cycles and spinning and avoidance and hiding. And that's fine if that's what you want to keep experiencing. But if you are done, if you are ready to shift, to shed the shame so you can move forward into your next level, this is a very, very powerful practice. Now, with alchemy of any kind, with transformation of any kind, with healing of any kind, you need to be patient. Be patient with yourself and be patient with the process. Some things take time to heal. And it's going to be a process, and you're going to need to allow yourself to feel uncomfortable. Like I said, unprocessed shame is one of the #1 blocks to manifesting. And the #1 block to manifesting is often very simply a feeling that you don't want to feel. So if you can get brave and hold space for the uncomfortable feelings and do this process, you'll start to shift, you'll start to shed, and you'll start to uncover, discover the incredible gold, power, beauty that lives inside of you on the other side. So I would love to know what is landing for you in this conversation today. Let's flood your shame with so much love and care and hold space for it to start to shift and change. Please let me know what's landing for you in the comments below. And let me know if you would like any support with this. This is one of the essential steps to manifestation mastery, and we have a wealth of tools and resources here to support you. You can visit the links below to seek out further support. We have so many resources. If you want to head over to my website, larawaldman.com, we would love to support you more. If you've enjoyed today's video, please like it, please leave a comment. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel to never miss an episode. And I look forward to being with you again next time.